Today we're doing the TBR video for the month of March 2025, and I'm pretty excited because this month marks the 4-year anniversary of me being a content creator here on YouTube. And if there's anything that I have learned by dragging the bottom here at YouTube for the past 4 years, it's that if you want to hang with the big dogs, you want to be one of those big content creators, you gotta wear a polo. Also, Mr. Heavy Spoilers Guy, you're like a movie and comics trivia and information channel, and I see you've got those Folio Society edition books behind you on your shelf there. I'm going to politely ask you to stay in your lane, sir. As always, we're going to start with the books that I'm going to read, and then we're going to move on into the manga that I'm going to read. And since the manga that I'm going to read is also the Patreon pick, there's only going to be 2 sections to this video this time. And we're going to start out with the very first book, and it's going to be Watership Down. I know what you're thinking. I wear that shirt constantly in my videos, the Watership Down, and I have not actually read the book. I know. Now, in my defense, even though I haven't read this book, I have watched that old cartoon from like the 70s or 80s. You know, the one that's complete nightmare fuel and has been ruining children's sleep for the past 40 years. That one. I have seen the cartoon. I think there was a recent adaptation that they did a year or 2 ago with like Netflix. I haven't. Did anybody watch that? We'll watch the old scary one again. That's what I'll do. No, but Watership Down, I really genuinely have been looking forward to reading this for like a couple of years now, and it just keeps getting pushed back onto my TBR. Well, now let's do it. This month is the month. And Watership Down is a story of a group of rabbits living in their burrow, and the burrow is overrun. What humans come in, I want to say, and they have to leave and go find a new one in Watership Down. But in order to get there, they're going to have to travel across the land, and all kinds of perils await them on their journey, from what I understand. Sounds great. I hear it's, I like classics. I like delving into these kinds of books. I expect to like it, but I have been surprised in the past. Sometimes they don't work out for me, but I really genuinely, if I were a betting man, I know, and knowing my taste, I think this is probably going to be an easy win for me, but we'll see. Next up on the list is a 100% win. There is no doubting it whatsoever, and it is Vampire Hunter D. I'm moving into book, which one is this? 9 of Volume 9 of the series Vampire Hunter D. I needed an easy win with a vampire book after, last month's Empire of the Vampire, which didn't go well. If you watch that video, if you haven't, I'll link that in the description. That was a wild time. What that was, I didn't like it. Spoiler alert, I didn't like it. But no, Vampire Hunter D, this is the Rose Princess. I'm not sure exactly what this one's about. I never really am sure what these are about. I just kind of grab one and go. This is one of my favorite series. I've said it before. It's not great. It's weird to say that, but it's weird. The writing isn't smooth. It's not great. The prose is definitely not great. The writing itself is kind of clunky and just weird, but they're just, I love them. I love them so dearly. I love them so much. They're so much fun. He goes into the weirdest descriptions of like these characters and their powers. It's like watching an anime in slow motion while somebody attempts to describe to you what's happening on the screen. But I love it. There's so much, there's a character to it that I eat them up. I really do. They're just so enjoyable for me. I always say when I recommend them, though, that they are not for everyone. So, and we'll see if I put 4 books on my TBR like I always do here. And this one's so itty bitty. And I am going to slip a short story in here as well, but I might end up having to slip something else in at the end of the month, but we'll see. I don't know. TBRs have no rules. At least mine doesn't. I just kind of read whatever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want, and then I slip things in as I go. I am also a mood reader, so there's that. Next up is going to be Redemption Arc by Alistair Reynolds, which is book 2 in the Revelation Space trilogy. Actually, I think it is called the Inhibitor trilogy. I call it Revelation Space. I think most of the world does. I really am excited to get to this one. I love Alistair Reynolds, and I've only read 2 of his books. Actually, the first book in this trilogy, Revelation Space, I thought was just good. Nothing great, nothing knocking it out of the park. But on the other hand, House of Suns is fucking fabulous. I mean, amazing. One of my favorite science fiction books. I love that book so much. And I really wanted to get more Alistair Reynolds in my life. Actually, when I was picking out, I had on my TBR shortlist that for this month just said Alistair Reynolds. I just knew I wanted to get back into him. So when it came time to finalize, well, which book am I reading? It was either this or another one of his standalones. And I almost went with another standalone just because of how much I loved House of Suns and all of that. But I decided I really want to kind of keep moving forward with this trilogy, maybe get this done before I move on to some more of his standalones. I don't know. We'll see. I do know that this is the next one on my list, and it is, real fast, hold on. Late in the 26th century, the human race has advanced enough to accidentally trigger the inhibitors, alien killing machines designed to detect intelligent life and destroy it. The only hope for humanity lies in the recovery of a secret cache of doomsday weapons and a renegade named Clavane, who is determined to find them. But other factions want the weapons for their own purposes, and the weapons themselves have another agenda altogether. I mean, just, yes, please. I love science fiction, and Alistair Reynolds is just, he's good. He's good. And last but not least, as always, never going to change. Well, no, I shouldn't say never going to change. Not going to change for the next 6 months anyway. Malazan. And this month is The Bone Hunters. And I am just so excited to get to it. I just finished Midnight Tides like a few days ago, and I can't. It's so good. This series is so good. And I've heard people say that these books are slow reads. It takes a while to get through a Malazan book. I have the exact opposite experience. When I'm reading a Malazan book, I finish, this will be like a 700, 800, 900 page book, and I will finish it faster than a 500 page book because it can't stop. It is insane. Once you get going, it is like you just can't stop reading the book. Was it in the last one, the Midnight Tides one, I had a day off. The whole day, I had literally nothing to do the entire day. And I thought, man, this is great. I'm going to get some reading done. I'll get some other things done. And I started that book and I read for a couple hours in the morning. Then I put my headphones on and I went through the house and I cleaned up my workshop and I cleaned up the couch and the living room and I did just a bunch of chores. And then when I was done doing that, I went back to reading the book and I finished like 250 pages in a day because I couldn't stop. Every time I tried to go do something else, I was like, but what happens next? I chew through them at an alarming rate because they are so shockingly good. Anyway, The Bone Hunters, Book 6 in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. Anyway, those are the 4 books that I plan to read for the month of March. And moving on into the manga, I had to cheat this month. I didn't have to. I mean, I'm cheating. That's what I'm doing is I'm cheating. But there was the winner of the month of March, just the honest to goodness winner is Frieren, and it was nominated by Lindsay Stolzenfeld. So thank you very much, Lindsay, for nominating Frieren, and I will be reading that this month as the Patreon pick for the month. So how exactly am I cheating then is because somebody else, a guy named Philippe K, I think it's Philippe, it's either Philip or Philippe, but judging by the spelling, I'm going to say Philippe, and he nominated the manga version of At the Mountains of Madness. And he has nominated this like 3 or 4 months in a row. And it just keeps losing. And I am super excited for it to win because I really want to read it. So you know what? Damn it. I'm going to read it. Even though he lost, I'm going to read it anyway. So we're going to do 2 manga this month, and it will be the actual honest to goodness winner, which is Frieren, and the other one, the loser, that I am reading anyway because I want to. But in order to do that, I have to read the short story of At the Mountains of Madness, which I have not read yet. But it shouldn't take long because I think it's like 80 pages. It's actually one of his longer ones, considering most of, I want to say, H.P. Lovecraft short stories end up being like 20 pages or something like that. You know, whatever. Anyway, it's one of his longer ones, and so I'll be slipping that in there somewhere as well, and I'm super excited. But thank you to Philippe, and thank you to Lindsay, and thank you to everybody that clicks on this video and watches it and puts up with my ridiculous antics here on this channel. As always, everybody, the link for my Patreon is in the description below. The link for my Discord's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.